There's a space in my heart where I find the truth. I find me in you, a truth beyond what you may see now. But when we are one, we bring more good about. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. See with new eyes, allow and unfold, embrace and let go, trust the flow. There's a freedom with love when you follow your heart. Together we are stronger than we could ever be apart. No matter who or what you call yourself or where you come from, yeah. There is a place in this world with open arms right now. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. You are welcome here. You are welcome here. Breathe in and out, slowly feel all that's around you, all that you feel, all that you know. Let it go. Welcome to love, welcome to peace, welcome to our community. Be who you are, let your light shine. We're so much more when we unite. Yeah, so that would be a transition. Yeah, when we unite. Oh, we unite. Yeah, yeah, when we unite. Yeah, yeah,
Good morning and welcome everyone to Center for Spiritual Living Ocala. Good morning. Hey, hey. Say hi to your friends and find a seat. You can get all the hugs. Gosh, you know, at 10:45, I was looking around the room and thinking, wow, we might have to pull some chairs out. You know, there's not enough, there's too many chairs. It happens every time. Every time. It's like the kid who's having a party and you wonder if anybody's going to show up. And then you all show up every time. It's beautiful. So, and some brought friends. So I am Cindy Grimes. I am the inspirator of this center. And welcome. I know we've got several newcomers today. Raise your hand if it's your first time in Circle. If it's your first time in Circle, raise your hand. Oh, today. All right. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Well, we will tell you what this is all about. I'm going to let Donna tell you about our mission and vision.
So Here at Center for Spiritual Living Ocala, our mission is that we embody and share truth principles and spiritual practices that empower us to awaken to the power and presence that lies within and all around us, so that we may facilitate spiritual healing and the elevation of our individual and collective consciousness. And our vision is that we are a thriving new thought community dedicated to spiritual growth and practice, sacred activism, and the transformative love that reveals our interconnectedness and oneness. And what do we mean by sacred activism? We're talking about that which is the intersection of consciousness and action. It is the place where prayer and service activate love and spiritual principles becomes a lived practice. Sacred activism is how we show up as a beneficial presence in the world. And how many people would like to be beneficial in the world right now? I'd rather not add more pain. There's enough pain. So I figured, hey, we're here together. And we have chosen these values together. I invite you to say them with me if it rings true for you. Wholeness of spirit, spiritual and personal growth, collaborative, synergistic community, abundance and prosperity, love and compassion, appreciation and gratitude, peace and balance, power of freedom, diversity and inclusion, generosity. Thank you so much for that. And welcome, welcome to those online right now or those online later.
Yeah, fabulous.
And those of you who aren't receiving the Science of My magazine in mail, we do normally have copies in our bookstore, and they are a bi-monthly copy with 1 month on one side and one on the other. See Aaron if you're interested in obtaining a copy of one of those. And we do have a few left of the current copy. So this is where modern spirituality meets science, and that's what we're about. And those of us who are not signed up for our Spirit Monthly newsletter, we have a sign-up sheet on the welcoming table over there. And in this newsletter, we keep current on what events that we are offering here at the center, because we're always doing something fun.
Yes. And did y'all tell people who you are?
Oh, who are
So you got some new folks here.
My name is Donna, and I am one of the practitioners here at the Center for Spiritual Living Ocala. We are one of many centers for spiritual living, and I have studied and holds the license of practitioner here at our community. And this is the other practitioner.
Norma. Yeah, I did all that she did. So welcome. And for events that we have coming, we have any?
We do.
Open at the top, Language, Emotional, and Well-Being with Rev. Cindy Grimes and Dr. Natasha Muser. That's going to be Sunday, January 25th at 11 a.m., so that'll be our Sunday service. And you all are welcome. And we have something else by Miss Muser also.
Well, just
But
let me elaborate on this one. This is next week's conversation is happening, and it's going to be a whole different setup than today. So Circle Sunday is our third Sunday, but next week it's going to be very different, more like a podcast format. And Natasha's going to talk about the importance of language and how our language kind of creates our perception of the world. So it's going to be a really cool conversation. So thanks for that.
And for those of you guys who it's first time here, every Sunday is different here.
Every
so I don't even
Sunday
know
is
why
different.
so next Sunday's going to be different. February 8th at 1 p.m., we're going to have our annual meeting. We would hope that anyone who is a member will be able to attend that, because we're going to be voting on some things and introducing some new members and what have you. And if you're looking to become a member, let us know, and we can, talk to you about what's involved in that. And that'll be Friday, February 8th at 1 p.m. That's after service. And this is Miss Muser that Cindy was just
Yes,
talking
this
about.
is Natasha's doing a workshop on February 28th. So the lead-in will be the conversation next week, so people can see if this is something that they'd like to do at the end of February. So that's that. Is that it? Don't we have more announcements? Nothing else. All right, cool. So, as I said, Circle Sunday. And this is, circles is indigenous practice. I think on every continent, people, as long as there have been people, we have been gathering in circles for millennia. And so we just want to acknowledge that this is a practice that we are doing, that it is indigenous, and acknowledging the native lands on which we reside right now. And so we just take a moment to acknowledge that in silence. All right, so take that in. Yeah. So what we teach here, especially for our newcomers, folks who have never been, is a practical study of consciousness and truth principles. And so my education as a minister involved philosophy, actually science. You know, we talked quantum physics, all the world's great religions, all kinds of perspectives, psychology, everything. And the idea is that what we are sharing is to help people maximize their potential. And it is based on the principle that consciousness is the source and substance of all that is. In other words, this thing that people call God is truly all there is. And if God is all there is, then we are all part of that. We are all the expression of it. Some people don't like to use the word God because, you know, it can be a loaded kind of term. But use whatever term you want. It doesn't really matter. So we are one with that, and then we get to use that power and presence to create our experience of life. And isn't that an amazing thing? Right, yeah. So, anybody, y'all want to chime in? I'll ask the group, why circle? Why do we sit in circle? Why do you think this is important? What? Why not? Why not? Why not? Well, you know, we have had twice, I've seen it happen. Somebody walks in and they see we're sitting in circle, and they turn around and they walk out. It's like, for real. Yeah, it's like, that's a little too much. People are going to see me. They can't hide. So why else would people want to be in circle? It's continuous, yes. It just goes round and round. What else? No hierarchies. Correct. No leader. No end, no beginning. Yeah, all of that stuff, all of that. So, yes, correct. We can see everything. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. So fabulous. I think you hit on everything. So circle conversations provide value by fostering deep listening and respectful communication, which builds stronger relationships, it increases empathy, and it creates a sense of community and safety within groups. There is a magic about circle that when you're sitting across from somebody that has a completely different life experience than you, and you hear truth coming out of their mouth, you get to see that, wow, we are really one. We are the same. We are alike. And that's what I love about circle. And then all the things that you all said. It's a symbol of wholeness. It's a symbol of universality, shared power, no hierarchies. Everyone is valued, and everyone is seen and heard. And that's probably why the people who couldn't be here had to walk out, right? Because they couldn't be seen. They could not allow themselves to be seen. They weren't ready for it. So kudos to you all for being here today and allowing yourselves to be seen and heard and appreciated. And so our format, there's the opening, which we just did. I'll do a little presentation and then guidelines, and then we'll do a little bit of centering, and then we'll have our questions. And I'll give you some more details about that before we break out into small groups. So we start out all together, and then we're going to count off, and we're going to go into separate spaces in the smaller groups. So a little easier for people to talk that way. And our questions today are really deep, so we only have 3. But you're going to need all of that time to talk about them. So, and then we come back together and we have a closing. So today, our theme for the year actually is called Open at the Top. Open at the Top. And to me, that means that we are staying in a space of humility, actually, and realizing that maybe we don't know all that there is to know. And maybe not only do we not know all that there is to know, we might be holding some beliefs and some thoughts that are actually not even true, that are not accurate. And so I think one of the most important questions, well, Einstein said it, so I guess it must be true, right? That the most important decision we make, true, not necessarily. But I happen to agree with this because I think it's what kind of sets us up for life, is, do we believe whether we live in a friendly or hostile universe? And I think many of us are raised to believe that the world is a scary, awful place. And I think we're seeing the impact of that kind of belief around us all of the time. And I believed that. I think that the universe was a hostile place. I've got to look out for myself. It's dangerous. And that really kind of doesn't make sense when you get into the spiritual aspect of life and realize what a miracle it is that we are here at all, and that everything that we need is actually provided. So it's a change in paradigm. It's a paradigm shift. And so, open at the top, your BS, aka what? Belief systems, right? I thought somebody might say the other. Although they kind of sometimes go together, don't they? Your belief system is sometimes some BS. And you don't know it until you're on the other side of it. So your belief system then determines your possibilities. And if you think that we live in a hostile universe, then everything is going to show up to prove that to you. It's like your mind is like a computer. You ask a question, it's going to give you an answer. If you say, what the heck, what is wrong with me? You know, why am I this way? Your computer and your brain is going to answer all of that. But you could ask another question that is more quality than that, right? Instead of what's wrong with me, what is right about this, or what's mine to do? And so I think this process for the year, what we're going to be doing, is basically paradigm busting. Going to help you get out of all of the false beliefs, those belief systems that don't serve you, the stuff that we've all been programmed with, because we've been programmed collectively. You know, we get well, you'll see in the video. This short video is from Don Miguel Ruiz, who wrote the Four Agreements. Anybody familiar with that book? So you know he talks about the domestication of humans, and that's what this little video is about, to kind of set us up for this conversation.
If we see a child who is 2 or 3, perhaps 4 years old, we find a free human. Very young children are not afraid to express what they feel. They are not afraid to love. They don't worry about the past, don't care about the future, and only live in the present moment. As children, our normal human tendency is to enjoy life, to play, to explore, to be happy, and to love. But what has happened with the adult human? Why are we so different? The humans who take care of us teach us what they know, which means they program us with knowledge, including all the social, religious, and moral rules of their culture. They hook our attention, pass on the information, and teach us to be like them. We learn how to be a man or a woman according to the society in which we are born. We learn how to behave the right way in our society, which means how to be a good human. In truth, we are domesticated the same way that a dog, a cat, or any animal is domesticated, through a system of punishment and reward. We're told that we're a good boy or a good girl when we do what the grown-ups want us to do. We're a bad boy or a bad girl when we don't do what they want us to do. All the rules and values of our family and society are imposed on us. The people we live with tell us their opinions, what is good and what is bad, what is right and what is wrong, what is beautiful and what is ugly. Just like a computer, all that information is downloaded into our head. We are innocent. We believe what grown-ups tell us. We agree. And the information is stored in our memory. At a certain point, all the opinions of our parents and teachers, religion and society, make us believe that we need to be a certain way in order to be accepted. They tell us the way we should be, the way we should look, the way we should behave. And because it's not okay for us to be what we are, we start pretending to be what we are not. By the time we are teenagers, we don't need anyone to domesticate us. We've learned to judge ourselves, punish ourselves, and reward ourselves according to the same belief system we were given, and using the same system of punishment and reward. The domestication may be easier for people in some places in the world and harder for people in other places. But in general, none of us has a chance of escaping the domestication. None of us.
Anyone relate to that? Bruh, right? So my grandchildren say, bruh. Yes, yes, yes. Well, what I love about that is that it normalizes it. Because when you get to that point in your life where you start seeing the BS that no longer serves you, and you start to release it, and the people around you don't get it necessarily, or you might feel like you're so out of step with things that maybe you're having a nervous breakdown, or it's that midlife crisis. Anyone else have that experience? You know, feeling like you're about to lose it, right? But really, you're coming back to yourself. It's just the mess that happens in a renovation. Imagine, you're renovating your house, and it's a mess, right? There's dust, and there's construction and things happening. It can be very painful and messy, but what happens with the end product as you move through all of that stuff? You come out to the other side, and it's better, right? You're wiser, stronger. Birthing process, this is the same thing. So we're really kind of giving birth to ourselves as we grow spiritually.
We give birth to ourselves, and we're working on ourselves, but we're also living in the inherited house. And as you're living in that inherited house, which is whatever system we came into, you notice that, the floorboards are rotting, and there's a couple of nails over there, and somebody said, put a picture over that hole right there, And all of these things that we inherited, but it's up to us to do what we can to fix the house for those behind us who get to live in it for however long they're on this planet. Our planet is that house that we all inherited, so.
Yeah. And so we go through these paradigm shifts individually and collectively. And we're going through one now collectively in a big way, which is why we're seeing all of the chaos and the drama. But we just have to hold one another in the truth and know that this is a time, it's a moment that we're going to move through, and just affirm that we come out on the other side better, stronger, wiser, all of that. And if well, that's one thing. That's one thing we can do. When it hits you, though, it's not as easy to put it to the side, right? When it's actually affecting your life and your situation, when you're in it, then it's not so easy to turn it away. So we come together in community to strengthen one another and to uplift one another. And there are moments where I falter, and my friends here pick me up. There's moments where they falter, right? And I pick them up, or somebody else in the community picks them up, and we're here for each other. So we come together in intentional community to do that. Because there are things that on the spiritual path, on the journey, that we need to do ourselves. Absolutely no one else can do certain things for you. But there are other things that you can't do alone, that you absolutely need your community for. So we come together with the purpose of spiritual growth and practice. So if that's what you're up for, you're in the right place. And if that's not your thing, then I hope you find your place. No hard feelings, because we're not trying to save anybody, right?
Right, exactly. I was there yesterday for the vision board workshop, and I almost did not come. I told myself, oh yeah, I know how to do vision boards. I mean, I've been doing this every year. Those of us who use it as a spiritual practice. And had I not come, I would not have had the breakthrough I had yesterday. And to be able to hit up against my ceiling like, oh, I'm really afraid of this thing. Like, really afraid. I had to put it down and step outside so that I didn't lose composure in front of everyone. And nobody knew. I didn't know that was coming had I not been in community. And the joy that was that, I may have wallowed there for longer. My depression may have showed up. but because I was in that joy, I was able to work through it and grow through it. And that's what community is about. That's why we come together.
Beautiful. Thank you, Donna. What's that? Let's, yes. She said no mud, no lotus. And we'll pass the mic around because we've got people that are watching online and want to make sure that they can hear what everybody's saying. So open at the top, right? That's our intention for the year, our vision. So first, these are the things that I've put together, and let's see if it lands for everybody. That we outgrow our limiting beliefs, our inherited stories, and fear-based habits that have kept us living small. Does that land? Yeah. Y'all ready for that? To let go of the stuff that is holding you back? You're all in. Awesome. All right. That we be open to greater possibilities, to know that it gets better than this. What if now is always the best time there is? If you could hold that possibility, like make now, let now always be the best time. Not your heyday back when you were in high school. Isn't that sad when you see people who like, yeah, that was the day when I made that catch, or, you know, had that game back in high school, and now you're 60. You know, let now always be the best time there is. I hear some snickering. Y'all know people like that? All right. So we remember that we're here not just to consume, conform, or compete. If you hadn't noticed, we're the folks who live a little bit on the edge. I think just to be in this space even, you have to have let go of a lot of stuff already. Yes? Because I think everybody here comes from some other tradition or no tradition. People are all coming from something else to gather intentionally here to learn some new stuff and some things that might push your buttons a little bit, but yet here you are. So we're not just here to consume, to conform, or compete. We are here to create, to contribute, and to elevate life. Anybody else up for that? Yes. When I was a hospice social worker years ago, I saw how people rearranged their priorities and how their lives changed once they got a diagnosis. And you realize you don't have to wait for a diagnosis to do that. And that's what I love about this work, is that we're not waiting for that, you know, is that you can make the change now. And you can do it proactively. You can do it proactively, or you can wait for that cosmic 2x4 to hit you upside the head and decide it's time for you to change. Anybody else experience that one? So here we do it on purpose, so it doesn't hurt so much when things change. We realize my intention, my hope is that everyone here, everyone that's part of this community and beyond, realizes and understands that you all have unique gifts, talents, and purpose, that you are here for a reason, and to use that in the service of life, something bigger than yourself. Whether it's the planet, whether it's animals, whether it's children, whether it's the spiritual community, or whatever your thing is, that you remember that you came here to this life with a purpose. And get back in touch with that. That we stay conscious of our oneness, that even though it may feel like we are singular entities, all alone, all by ourselves, that we are part of something much larger, much greater. And you can take that even just to the planet. We all live on this one planet. And if you think about it like it's a human being, you know, the liver is not better than the heart or the brain. Try and live without any one of those things. Right? They're all equally, they're all important. They're all very important. It has different roles, just like each one of us has a different role, but we are all part of this one whole. Like, you know, you try to put a puzzle together and it's missing a piece. It ruins it, doesn't it? So it's not fun. So we all have a role to play, and we're all part of the oneness.
And Cindy, as far as that goes, you know, we're all enlightened individuals pretty much in this room, and it's really easy to focus on our oneness when everything is good. But when we have any kind of challenge, then we go to the me, what can I, who, what, and it's not, you're not in it alone. And that's where the consciousness of the oneness needs to really stand forward.
Yes, and understanding, which leads to the next point, which you didn't even know was coming. We understand that breakdown is just the other side of breakthrough. Right? The breakdown is just, hold that. right? It's okay. Y'all have been through some stuff, right? Everybody here has been through stuff, and you've come out of it. And here you
Well,
sit.
hold on. Everybody here has been through the birthing process. Every last one of us. And that process is not fun. And if, I don't know, if you remember what that was like coming into this experience, which you don't, but I can only imagine how scared. Some of us, our birth story is so intense. And that alone we've all experienced. It's and what happened on the other side of that? Life.
And even if you don't remember consciously, there is part of you that always knows that, right? And if some of you have had any of those kind of psychedelic experiences or mystical experiences, I've known people that actually can remember near-death experiences or remembering what that birth is like. Yeah. And my intention is that we bust outdated paradigms and keep the faith alive by consciously co-creating a future shaped by love, courage, creativity, and care for all. How many of you saw the Barbie movie? Anybody see the Barbie movie? You know that part in the end of the Barbie movie where the Barbies have to get deprogrammed? They don't have to, but the Barbies start out in Barbie World, which is all about the Barbies, and it's very female power, you know. And then something happens, and another element comes into their perfect little world, and it suddenly becomes patriarchal, and the Barbies start behaving in that way, and then they have to be deprogrammed to remember the truth of who they are. So that's what I feel like we're in the process of, is deprogramming ourselves so we can get back to the truth of who we are. Yeah, good.
So that's the thing. I think that all of us forget how beautiful we are coming in, and it's not just the Barbies, it's also the Kens, and I love that they covered everyone.
All of it.
All of it. And it was, if you haven't seen that movie, for sure, art always tells us a little bit about ourselves, and they did a great job with that one.
It's fun. Not just a kids' movie. In fact, it's probably not a kids' movie at all, really. The kids don't get it. Kids don't get it. So that is the context of our conversation this morning. You all up for this talk? Yeah? Okay. All right. So when we split out into our small groups, these are our guidelines. Mutual respect, of course. Everybody has different ideas and opinions, and that's part of the fun of it, actually. Maintaining confidentiality, which is important for creating brave space. People say safe space, but the space has to be safe in order for you to be brave, right? And in order for that space to be safe, for you to be brave, it means that we don't take people's stories outside of the circle, right? So we maintain that confidentiality so that it can feel safe enough for people to be able to share and speak their truth, okay? Being present. That means to be in the moment. We all have things that are happened before we got in here today and things that are going to happen after, but just give everyone the courtesy and the gift of your attention as people are speaking, just being present in the circle. WAIT. Why am I talking? Or why aren't I talking? Some people love to talk, but we want to hear from everybody in the circle. So, like, police yourselves. We sometimes we can use a talking stick or a talking piece in circles, so the person who's talking is the one that's, but we're not doing that. I don't think we've done it, COVID and stuff. We don't usually need to, but just keep that in mind. And if you're someone who doesn't talk a lot, then go out on a limb a little bit. And, you share to the degree that you feel comfortable, but I would encourage you to put it out there a little bit more and see what happens. Let's all be mindful of time, and I will let you know how much time we have as we're going through. There are other groups that are going to be in the space as we split out. And then parking lot is for things that, may be a little bit to the side of the conversation, or it may pull the conversation somewhere else, and we want to keep it focused. So if there is something that that wants to come up, then maybe leave it for the end, and if we have time, then we come back to it. And if it's something that requires an answer, certainly we'll look for that for you. Yeah, please do.
I'd also like to add that when you leave the space to go into your designated area, if you could take your chair with you, if you're gonna, or find a chair in there. But if you do that, to bring the chair back when you come back into the space, and also if you're helping someone with their chair, if you can just bring those back.
Yeah, we usually have the outdoor space available, but with the weather
Correct.
being what it is, we're not doing that. So some groups will be meeting all the way in the back, and there's actually already chairs back there.
Oh, awesome. Okay.
4 chairs, so we
4
may need
chairs,
a couple
yeah.
more. Okay. All right. So just to reinforce, circle is not, although I am talking a lot right now, circle is not for lecturing. It's not for persuading people to your point of view. And as much as you may want to give somebody advice, someone is sharing something in the circle, you go, wow, well, I've been through that. Girl, let me tell you, that's not the place. Okay, don't do it.
And
Don't give
because
advice.
so many of us are either practitioners, ministers, therapists, counselors, it's so easy to fall into helping.
Yes.
This isn't the space to help.
Correct, correct. It really is just a space for people to share their perspectives and be heard and seen, and to see and hear others. So, yes, it's providing a structure for the conversation, for mutual respect and emotional literacy, empathy, problem solving, all that good stuff. All right, so with that, let's just take a moment and kind of settle into the space. Take a nice deep breath and feel your body begin to relax. And as your mind relaxes, your mind is more open. So we just know that today we tap into that power and presence that runs in, around, and through all things. That thing we call God, the thing we call Creator, the thing we call universe, this thing we call life, that flows through each one of us here. And so we become present to this moment. And as we become present, we open our hearts and we open our minds to what it is that Spirit has to offer. And I know that each one of us comes here today as a teacher with some nugget of wisdom, of some life experience that ultimately has benefited them and may be here to benefit others in the circle. Each one of us here today is also a learner, open and ready to receive the wisdom, the love, and the understanding from others in the space. And ultimately, we have the opportunity to release that which no longer serves us. And we can release with ease and with grace. It need not be painful or dramatic, but just an easy opening. And as we release that which no longer serves, we tap into that which is ours to embrace. The truth of our own wisdom, of our own compassion, of our own beauty and grace. And I'm so grateful that everyone here is learning, everyone here is a teacher, and that we all grow and elevate together. I'm grateful for the wisdom that is shared here today, for the seeds that are planted, for the breakthroughs that are catalyzed in this experience. And I give thanks as I release these words with joy and gratitude, for it is already done. And so it is. All right. So we'll start our counting off, and what we're going to do is count, is it 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4. Who's our other one? 5. Pam, right? Okay, so, move this way. 1, 2, 3. And Pam is 5. Pam is 5. Okay, so you're 1. Three. You're 3. You're 3. You're 3. 4, 5. Yeah, and you're 5. And you're 5. All right, wonderful. So you've got your groups. So ones are with Donna. And where are you going to be, Donna?
Right.
All right. Norma, where are you going to be?
She's loud.
Norma's a 2.
We're going to be in the back room.
Which back room?
Um,
The youth room?
all the way. The kids' room.
There's two rooms back there. Daniel? Bookstore, Daniel. Bridget. Bridget's in this corner. Pam? You're going to be in the other back room. Okay. All right. And so we'll come back together at 12:15. It's a half hour. And here are your questions. Let's see. Who's 5? Pam in the back. So, yes. I don't think, you might need a chair or two, but there's a couple of chairs back there already. Who's 3s? Who are 3s? I think 3's going to be 3's in the bookstore with Daniel. That's back in that little cubby over there.
And I need to take a chair?
You might need a chair. You might need a chair. All right, where are you? Where are you? You're a 5. You're a 5. I think 5s are in the back. Pam.